You know, I think video games are beautiful things. They can make you happy, they can make you sad, and sometimes they can change you, especially when you're at a more young, impressionable age. I owe a lot of who I am today to the video games that I played when I was growing up that helped shape my personality, and if I didn't play video games growing up, I have no idea what kind of person I would be today, but I can say with confidence that I would be very different. Video games, they can make you laugh, they can make you cry, and sometimes, just sometimes, they can change your entire perspective on life. And then there are games like Clustertruck, where you jump on trucks. All of the awards! Well, that was stupid. So, Clustertruck is a physics-based platformer developed by Landfall and published by tinyBuild. I'm reviewing 2 tinyBuild games in a row. How about that? About jumping on trucks. Basically, the game plays like this. It puts you in a level with a finish line at the end of it that you have to get to, and a bunch of trucks. You gotta jump from truck to truck, or just stand on one truck and let it take you there if you're some sort of boring, salad-eating, long division-loving waffle, and try to get to the goal line as quick as you can. As a central game mechanic, this is, as a Cambridge University professor would describe it, fucking badass. Playing this game is so much fun and feels really satisfying. You can jump super far, your character's momentum and weight feel spot on, it's fun stuff. And the levels are all pretty well designed too. At first I thought they were doing the standard Mario thing with their level design because the first 3 worlds are grass, desert and ice, but then they mix it up with shit like the laser world, the medieval world and the steampunk world. And apart from their visual differences, each world uses different kind of obstacles and shit that gets in your way too, like the medieval world uses these big swinging hammer things, the sci-fi world uses rockets, and the laser world uses lasers, believe it or not. Caught me by surprise. Each world has 10 levels that gradually get harder and harder as they go on, with one super hard level at the end. Yeah, it's super hard. It's super hard. This game is super hard. This game is bullshit. So yeah, Clustertruck is pretty difficult, but one thing I like is how it introduces its difficulty very gradually, so you never feel like you're taking on a super hard level that you're not prepared for. You remember earlier when I made a joke about boring people just standing on one truck and having it take them to the finish line? Well, realistically, that strategy is only viable for maybe the first 2 levels, and after that, shit gets hard and you gotta move or get left in the dust. As the game goes on, it throws more and more shit at you, like rocks, boulders, and other trucks. And by the end, shit gets crazy. You're gonna have to jump on very specific trucks at very specific times, or you'll very specifically die. There are also abilities that you can take that are basically required to beat some of the later levels. There are 2 different types of abilities. There are movement abilities that let you do stuff like use jetpacks, teleport, and use grappling hooks, and utility abilities that let you do stuff like slow down time, and who cares what else. To be fair, I didn't use that many other utility abilities whilst I was playing, but the time slow mechanic is just so good that I don't see how anything else could be more useful. I'd almost argue that it's kind of essential in the later levels, and maybe if they just didn't count it as an ability and gave it to you for free at the beginning of the game, it might make players want to use the other utility abilities more. But then maybe that would make the game too easy. I don't know, I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, that was Clustertruck. I'm really not sure what else I could say about the gameplay. I mean, it's a game about jumping on trucks. I feel like I've been told to write a 10-page essay on why tying your shoes is important. I should mention though that there are player-made levels that you can download, and your very own level editor where you can make your own levels, so once you're done with the campaign, if you hunger for more, then you won't have to hunger for very long. Really, there's not a lot I can say about Clustertruck that isn't already obvious by just looking at the gameplay. I mean, it's a game where you try to get through an obstacle course by jumping on moving trucks, and that's just an inherently badass idea. I would be more surprised if the game wasn't awesome. Clustertruck took an interesting and fun idea and turned it into an interesting and fun game. It was pretty challenging, but that just made it even more satisfying when I beat one of the more crazy levels, like the last level in the steampunk world. Yeah, that can fuck right off. Clusterfuck is trucking good fun. I mean, Flustertruck is sucking wood fun. Trucker clust is gucking for ton. Yeah, that's the one.